So this week we're gonna start with a quick recap on data lifecycle management. So basically, as we saw in the last week, there are 8 stages in the data lifecycle, and each has its own value, and every stage will have multiple sub process. But for any data platform, these are the 8 mandatory stages data will go through, right? It starts from any source and ends in the purging layer. So for this week, we are going to see more about data ingestion and acquisition. So this happens in the first 3 stages of data lifecycle. So it starts with data generation. Data generation is nothing but understanding and identifying the sources of data within that organization. So basically, any entity within that organization which is generating data or which is holding some data, they are called data sources. For example, in a manufacturing company, you might have some machines which is sending IoT data, or you are an internet company where you have created certain applications which is generating some data. For instance, I have given YouTube. YouTube is sending a lot of information like user uploads, comments, likes, and the logs, crash reports, application wise, mobile type wise. So a lot of data is getting generated, and it could be some PDF files from your Outlook, or even from your local storage, or even an on-premise data warehouse or on-cloud data warehouse which is sitting outside your organization also sometimes. Maybe some databases, some transactional databases and files, whatever that is holding some data or generating some data, they are called data sources. So for any use case, identification of data sources is very important, right? And the second step is acquiring access to the data. So it is data collection. So in other words, it is called as data acquisition. So what is data acquisition? In simple terms, it is like gaining access over the data. It's primarily derived on 3 parameters. One is the use case, for which use case you are trying to get access to the data, and then what is the pattern of data that you are going to pull in, and then the technology. So basically, it's like all these put together will give you the view how are you going to acquire the data. Let's say you are a finance team is trying to get a report, and it needs sales data. Then both the data that needs to be brought into a single data platform for an unified view of the report or dashboard, whatever they are trying to build it, right? So first you need to understand both the sources. What is the technology behind the source? Is it a SQL database or an Oracle database, or is it an application? Based on that, you will define your pattern. And if it demands a real-time data ingestion, you have to define a real-time pipeline. And if it more, because of the use case, it is more a batch, daily once I need to see that report, then it could be more of daily once or daily twice kind of a job that you have to build in to bring in the data. So all this put together will give you a understanding on the nature of the source. Accordingly, you define your acquisition contracts or alignment with the technology, right? So the next step is your storage, connecting to the storage. Basically, this is the ingestion part. On a high level, it's like ingestion is nothing but the old school ETL, the load process, extract, transform, and load is what called as ingestion. But let's keep it more simple here. It's like I'll try to give an analogy which you can easily understand. Let's say you have a hard disk and you have some 5 gigs of data in it, and you want to load it into your laptop or copy it into your laptop. So this hard disk is nothing but your data source here, and connecting your USB to your laptop is more about your ingestion pipeline, right? It's like the acquisition. So once you connect your USB, it might ask for a password if it is a password enabled or encryption enabled, and then once you give that the credentials, you will be able to see the data from your source, and then normally you will see control C and control V here, or drag and drop. So that is where ingestion pipeline is enabled with data. Now that you could see that data is getting copied from your hard disk to a laptop, right? So this might be a one-time activity, or if you're a photographer or somebody, you take a lot of want to transfer a lot of data on daily basis, you might do this like a regular period of time, or whenever you attend that kind of an event, you copy those data and put it inside your laptop. But in large organization, for a continuous development and enrichment of their business goals, you need to have a continuous interactions, right? So that's where this ingestion pipelines needs to be created, automated, scheduled, orchestrated, validated. All those things are going to needs to happen, right? So this is what we're gonna see, how to build a basic ingestion pipeline. So let's keep it very simple. This is an overly simplified way of telling the things, but I feel this will give you an idea to progress the bigger things. Okay, so we will see a lot more about data ingestion in the next video. Now for the theory purpose, I have brought down this entire life cycle and trimmed down to first 3 stages. So hope this had given you kind of a good picture. You can reach out to me in my LinkedIn as well as in this video comments. I'll try to explain if you don't understand anything. I'll see you in the next video. Bye bye.